Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating and pivotal wars of the 19th century, the Crimean War. It's a conflict full of big power rivalries, heroism, and a lot of mismanagement. Now, you've probably heard of it: Florence Nightingale, the charge of the Light Brigade, maybe even the phrase balaclava. But why was this war fought? Why did Britain, France, and the Ottoman Empire team up against Russia? And why does it still matter? Stick around and we'll unpack it all in 40 minutes. Alright, let's roll back the clock to the mid-19th century. By the 1850s, Europe was a powder keg of competing empires. Let's start with the Ottoman Empire, often called the sick man of Europe. They were struggling economically, militarily, and politically. Russia, meanwhile, was growing powerful under Tsar Nicholas I. They saw the Ottoman Empire as weak and wanted to expand south to get something they really needed: warm water ports on the Black Sea. Now, why would Britain and France care? Well, they didn't want Russia getting too powerful. Britain, in particular, was worried about protecting trade routes to India, and France wanted to reassert its influence under Napoleon III. So, the balance of power was at stake. And then there's religion. Oh yes, religion played a role. Russia claimed to be the protector of Orthodox Christians in Ottoman territories, while France positioned itself as the defender of Catholics. This religious tension was the match that lit the fuse. In 1853, a dispute over holy sites in Jerusalem escalated. Both Orthodox and Catholic Christians claimed rights to certain shrines, and Russia and France backed their respective groups. The Ottomans, caught in the middle, sided with France. Big mistake from Russia's perspective. Tsar Nicholas I sent an ultimatum demanding greater rights for Orthodox Christians in Ottoman lands. The Ottomans refused, so Russia invaded to Ottoman provinces Moldavia and Wallachia. And just like that, the dominoes started falling. The Ottomans declared war on Russia in late 1853, and Britain and France jumped in to support the Ottomans in 1854. The Crimean War had officially begun. Most of the fighting happened in Crimea, a strategically important peninsula on the Black Sea. Let's talk about some of the major battles. This was the Allies' first big win. British, French, and Ottoman forces pushed back the Russians, showing they could stand up to the Tsar's army. Sevastopol was Russia's naval base, so capturing it was the Allies' main goal. This siege lasted almost a year and was brutal. Think trenches, disease, and constant bombardment. The famous charge of the Light Brigade happened here. It's one of history's most infamous military blunders. British cavalry charged straight into Russian artillery. Why? Miscommunication. But hey, inspired a famous poem by Alfred Lord Tennyson, so there's that. Known as the Soldiers' Battle, this was a chaotic and foggy fight where individual bravery played a big role. The Allies managed to hold their ground against a much larger Russian force. Let's not forget the humanitarian side of this war. This was when modern nursing was born, thanks to Florence Nightingale. She led a team of nurses to improve the horrific conditions in British field hospitals. Before her, hospitals were death traps, unsanitary, overcrowded, and disease-ridden. Nightingale revolutionized care by emphasizing hygiene, proper nutrition, and record-keeping. Her efforts saved countless lives and laid the foundation for modern medicine. By 1855, both sides were exhausted. The Russians couldn't hold out after losing Sevastopol, and Tsar Nicholas I had died, leaving his successor, Alexander II, to clean up the mess. In 1856, the war ended with the Treaty of Paris. Russia had to give up territory, demilitarize the Black Sea, and recognize the Ottoman Empire's independence. It was a humiliating defeat for Russia, but a temporary win for the balance of power in Europe. So, what's the legacy of the Crimean War? First, it exposed the inefficiencies of 19th century armies, leading to major military reforms. Second, it highlighted the importance of media. This was one of the first wars covered extensively by journalists. And finally, it set the stage for future conflicts. The tension between Russia and the West didn't go away, it just evolved. Sound familiar? Oh, and one more thing, it gave us some cool stuff like the balaclava and the Victoria Cross Medal for bravery. That's the Crimean War, a messy, fascinating conflict that shaped the modern world. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what topic you want me to cover next. Until then, stay curious, and I'll see you next time.